Fusion uses nodes to create visual effects and motion graphics. A node can be several things. It can be a thumbnail that represents a clip. It can be tools like filters and effects, or even compositing operations like the merge tool. To view a node, press the number 1 key on the keyboard. A small white display icon appears at the bottom of the node to indicate you are viewing it. The white icon on the left represents the display on the left. The white icon on the right represents the display on the right. You can add nodes using the toolbar menu. The flow graph works by connecting nodes together, passing the image from one node to another. Connecting the red output icon to the yellow input icon connects the two nodes. Once you view the selected node by pressing the keyboard shortcut, any adjustments made in the control area are displayed in the viewer. To remove a node from the flow graph, select it and press the Delete key on the keyboard. To layer one image on top of another, use the Merge tool. The Merge tool has a yellow input for the background and a green input for the foreground. When connecting nodes with multiple inputs, you can hold the Option or Alt key as you drag. Releasing the mouse button over the node will display a pop-up menu that shows the connections for that node. This makes it easier to select the input you want. If the two images connected to the Merge tool are different resolutions, the background image always determines the output resolution of the node. Using the Command-T or Control-T shortcut will swap the foreground and background shots in the Merge tool. Here, the smaller background image has cropped the larger foreground. When a node is selected in the flow graph, adding a node will automatically connect the two nodes together. To disconnect nodes, click the connection line near the input. The connection will be removed, and you can use that node somewhere else. When compositing, you will often have the need to use masking. This image already has an embedded alpha channel, which we can see by clicking the Viewer Channel toolbar button. Clicking it again returns to viewing the RGB channels. The alpha in our foreground is automatically used when connected to the Merge node. Since the band and the desert are one shot, adding the car layer as the foreground is not very realistic. To make it look like the debris is going behind the band, we can use a common visual effects tool called a mask. You can create masks using a combination of Fusion's keying, painting, and rotoscoping tools. We can use this mask to isolate the band members. Most nodes have an additional purple mask input. To connect the mask, drag it to the purple mask input on any node. Using the mask makes it look like the debris is behind the band. Next, we'll add a sandstorm both in front of and behind the band. To add additional layers to a composite, connect the red output of one Merge tool to the yellow input icon, then connect the new foreground layer containing the sandstorm. We want it to look like the sand is behind the band, so we'll cut them out with the same mask we used earlier. Because we're working with nodes and not layers, we don't have to duplicate the mask. Just connect the output to as many inputs as needed. Finally, we'll add one more node to mix in a little bit of sand over the entire scene. You can use common blend modes or the blend parameter to simply fade back the sandstorm so we can still see the band members' faces. When you are done compositing, you can add a saver node to render your final output.